Since when did I start loving shoes? I don't think I can remember a time that I didn't.
It's a simple box, and yet it isn't. Why is it not simple?
Or maybe I'm just simple.
I'm wondering what the significance of this is.
Sometimes I think I should just stick to what I know. Oh dear. Alright. Alright, are we in shot? I think we're definitely in shot. Hi guys, can you tell that I'm procrastinating? Don't mind my voice, I am sick again, thanks to my lovely children that love to pick up basically whatever walks around. I love how my battery dies as soon as I try to get to the punchline. Today, folks, we are embarking on another project, yes, at Casa Bakes, because this is apparently the house of never-ending projects. So great for you, riveting content for you. For me, who is doing the work, it's just a little bit painful. However, I am grateful for work because I love occupying my time in very valuable ways. I hate wasting time, and this is definitely a valuable expenditure of my time today, which is something that was meant to happen many a moon ago, which is a shoe storage space, or a shroom if you like, conveniently behind my huge girth because I am beyond 6 months pregnant. Just thought I'd give a little pelvic thrust for you there, not that it really matters. Behind me, see, conveniently hidden behind me is the before of the shroom. The after will obviously look way better than that. But before the idea of the shroom, I have been storing my shoes in shoe boxes, as one does, because I hate having dusty shoes, which is why I have never gone on the shoe rack route, except for things like runners or slippers or things that we wear every day. I am a shoe lover, I am a shoe hoarder, I have an appreciation for a good shoe, which is why I have a decent collection of them, I'm happy to say, and fortunate enough to say. However, I don't wear them because I cannot see them because they are in boxes. And today, that ends.
Last year,
I made a purchase of some shoe storage boxes off a furniture website that was having a Black Friday sale. So again, this is last year because Black Friday, November last year. So I placed an order on the website. I will leave all the links to the shoe boxes below. For these self-assembling shoe storage containers, it actually took me quite some time to find the right container I wanted to permanently house my shoes, because there were a lot of cheaper options that were like a matte plastic or a very thin plastic, or they were fabric and collapsible. But the whole purpose of this exercise was to see my shoes, and so I wanted a clear shoe box. Discovered along my browsing that clear shoe boxes are the most expensive of the shoe storage options out there. So this was definitely not a purchase to be made without there being some kind of bargain or sale or discount. However, I was fortunate enough that I was able to find a really good quality option for a price that I was willing to pay. Other consideration when purchasing numbers for these boxes was basically space, so how much space I had access to, which happens to be this lovely corner on top of the staircase here next to the bedrooms. As with a fourth child coming into the home who will be sleeping with us in our bedroom, we just don't have any space to be putting any kind of shoe storage in there. This space was not really being utilized for anything, so why not fill it with a wall of pretty shoes? I also intended to double up my shoes so I wouldn't have to put one pair of shoes per box. I wanted to put hopefully 2 pairs of shoes per box so I can maximize the space and obviously not have a tower of shoes that hits the ceiling, because potentially my collection might have the capacity to do that. Not to mention the size of these boxes, from what I measured online, are quite generous. I was hoping for some instructions. Look at me as if I'm some kind of instruction queen that rely on these pieces of paperwork. I really bother with them, to be quite fair. However, when it comes to DIY, I need as much help as I can get, because space and engineering is not quite my thing. But here's hoping that these are just super easy to assemble and hopefully the quality that I was expecting as well. Comes with 1, 2, oh, how many pieces are there? 1, 2, oh that's right, 4, that's right. 3, 4 sides and 2 adjoining back and fronts for the rectangular prism box. Well done, you remembered your grade 2 math. I must say I'm super impressed with the packaging. Everything has come beautifully aligned and wrapped in bubble wrap. This is my first impression, by the way, of even glancing at these boxes. They have been sitting here for a good 7 months now, if not longer. Just waiting for the day, which happens to be today, when I have the time and energy to do this. The plastic is a bit more flimsy than expected, but maybe that's why I got them at such a good price. But as for the clarity, oh my goodness, I mean, I'm impressed. From looking at it, there's no joinery, so it's very Japanese. They don't believe in using nails and things for joinery. They just sort of like to design things to fit together. Okay. Also discovered an empty rectangle. Perhaps this is essential to the joining of these boxes. So in total I have 2, 4, 6 parts, which makes sense. I wonder if these are backless. This piece looks like it would go at the front because it has a little dip for you to open and close. Ah, and there are little pieces. I'm not sure if you can see. Oh, that was just a piece falling down the stairs. Never mind. This little pointy, wow, she really is a DIY queen. This little pointy bit, that's all I can say. How I could describe it on the side, I think that might attach to the sides. And obviously, I wonder what that clear piece is for, the one that's just fallen down the stairs. This must insert into some, no, that's not quite right, is it? That's too shallow. Oh, maybe it goes this way. Give me a few minutes to gather my thoughts, because so far we are making a real running start at it. How to assemble clear shoebox. Oh Lord, I might be in trouble. Oh wow, it even comes with the 1980s workout music. This is not the same shoebox. Insert the left, insert the right, and put the top down. Yeah, this is not my shoebox. Oh dear. Alright, space and engineering hat on. Sometimes I think I should just stick to what I know, which is cooking and cleaning and buying shoes and fashion. Oh, what a resume I've given myself. I can do a lot more, people. I'm actually rather all up here in many ways, Lord have mercy. But assembling things from scratch and figuring out how they go together is not one of my mental strengths. But let's give this a go. I'll pop you on a time lapse to spare you from the chaos of my self-talk as I attempt to do this. I just realised how bad of a shot that was. Sorry for the waste of time there. I am so confused. I'm wondering what the significance of this is. The rectangular piece that has no bearing. Unless these two large bits are the sides. Maybe the base is the, no. Oh no, I might cry. Guys, I'm not sure if I can do this. I just feel so helpless right now. I just wish I had the brain that knew how to put pieces into pieces. I was never good at jigsaws as a child, and I bought these shoe boxes thinking, how hard can it be? You're just assembling a box. It's a simple
simple box, and yet it isn't. Why is it not simple?
Or maybe I'm just simple. All right, guys, I'm doing it. I've established half a box. I am beyond ecstatic with myself, because here am I thinking, I don't need a man. And then I'm like, but I do need a man. And now I'm like, I don't need a man. We'll see if that attitude stays in place. I stepped back and I thought reasonably, okay, we need a top and a bottom. So which is the top and the bottom? And it turns out the two largest pieces, so this one here and the one at the base, are the largest pieces. Then I established, okay, what goes on the sides? And it's the two shallower pieces and the two more square pieces. So we're getting somewhere. Still have no idea what this is for, but I guess we will find out. Also discovered they have little slats within the panels where you actually slot them into. This one is being uncooperative. Right, oh my goodness. All right, so that fit together. This large piece will go on the top. And then we have this part, which I think will be the most tricky. It's meant to open. How does it open? Does it need this, perhaps? Ah, it must. These two must go together because there is a magnet on the top of this ridged panel here for the door, and there is a magnet on this empty panel here. So they must fit together somehow. This is really exercising my brain in new and exciting ways for a Thursday. Oh my gosh, it's working. I'm going to now insert the panel into here. I did not think I would get this far. I did also not intend for this to be a tutorial on how to put a box together, but here we are. Only the finest content for you folks. Please just work. Just go in. Just oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys, look. We have an operating door. Oh my goodness, I did that. Now, just for the top panel. This should just go on. It's on. It's on. I made a shoebox. Anticlimactic or not, guys, I am so proud of myself. Plan was to fit 2 pairs of shoes per box, so let's see if we can actually achieve that. Oh, this is still thrilling for me. Please ignore my really unjustified excitement here. I've just conquered a mountain I didn't know I could climb. Okay, so I've got my 2 sneakers in here, and I have just some slippers, which I'm not wearing at the moment. I'm saving them. I think I might save them for hospital actually after the baby. That could go in there, and oh my goodness, and I can close them. Wow, I could actually fit more than 2 pairs in here, although that might be a little bit cluttered looking, so maybe I will just stick to 2 pairs for now. I wonder if I could put like some kind of shelving system within that, but that's a whole nother ball game. But guys, look, now I feel like I can do this, but once again I've left myself very little time to actually get this done. So in very typical Opal style, I'm going to get my child and also get a piece of cake that I made, because I made the best vegan cheesecake, and I think this is the perfect reward for doing something so insignificant. And wow, this wide angle lens is making me see a lot more of the kitchen than you and I both needed to right now. I'm back in my comfort zone, eating. This might be my lunch today. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with the shoe boxes today or not. This might be a quest that may not be able to be conquered today, but that's fine. We're going with the flow. But this, however, guys, is the star of the show right now. My vegan cheesecake that I made for the first time yesterday. It's been sitting in the fridge. So just to quickly show you the process that I went through yesterday, it was super easy. I blended chickpeas, dates, tofu, almond milk, oh, bless me, and melted chocolate. Tried to blend this in a blender, which you would have seen. However, off camera, I had to transfer it to a bowl and use a stick blender because it was a very thick mixture. It wanted firm tofu in this recipe, but I feel like silicone tofu might be the way forward next time I attempt this. But I had a few crumbs yesterday and it just tasted so decadent. Definitely didn't taste like a cheesecake, but it makes a really nice vegan chocolate cake that's super dense, super fudgy, and is packed full of flavour. And as you can see, I'm just layering it with mounds of Flora whipped cream, which is a vegan alternative whipped cream, which whips just like the real thing. And I'm going to artfully pile on some blueberries. Now let's see how this tastes after it's been resting in the fridge, because I, for once, followed the instructions and resisted eating the cake straight away and let it do its thing in the fridge to make it more cheesecake-like. Let's try. That is so fudgy. Tastes super healthy, which is okay. I'd probably drizzle some maple syrup or Biscoff spread on top just to sweeten it up a little bit, but for a healthy sweet treat or lunch substitute, this is perfect. Alright, so it needed some maple syrup, which I've sadly run out, but I am enjoying myself. And dare I say, much more enjoyable than shoes. I will take chocolate cake over shoes any day. I can confirm child and cake have both been secured and we're feeling a little bit more awake, which is great. Still short on time, so I 100% know this vlog will not get finished today, but that's okay. We are very, very used to the disjointed timeline of Opal's vlogs. But what I thought I'd do before we depart for our second round of pickups is I would actually do a step-by-step, very briefly of course, because you know I like to chatter and take my time. This is probably more of an instruction manual for me than it is for you, so I know that when I pick these up next week I'll remember how I actually did it. So let's just go through how this box, this magical Aladdin's box, came to be. And please mind the background ambience of ABC Kids playing downstairs. So let's go through the parts. Now that we have a prototype, this is going to be far, far less stressful than my first attempt. So I would say that these are the sides of the boxes, 2 pieces of those. This is the top and the bottom pieces. They're the most large for reference, 2 of those. And I found out where these are from, by the way. They're from Temple & Webster, and I will link them. This is the magic door with the magnetic corners, so these 2 will fit in together. And this is just the adjacent side to the door, so basically the front and the back pieces. So I did learn one thing from the Amazon tutorial that I watched, is basically fit the adjacent sides first before you do the other parts. But always begin with your base. So that will go down first. Not to mention, oh, that is satisfying. These are beautifully stackable, which I've just experienced for the first time. Nothing like the first time. Hello. We're going to fit now, because it won't work unless you do it in this order. We're going to fit the side panels, because without those side panels on, the front and the back won't go on. Side panels slot in like so, and they're a little bit stubborn, but they will go in. You're just going to listen to that little click. Of course you can. You can sneak behind me. That's a good idea. Alright, other side panel is going on. Oh my goodness, this is so much easier than the first time. Then we're going to slot in the back panel, and this is a little bit tricky because they have to fit between the slats and also slot into the bottoms. There'll be a bit of manipulation involved. I was a bit scared at one point that I would actually break the plastic, but as I have discovered, it is quite flexible, so it's okay. I would give you a close-up on the exact process that I'm using. Because it's so clear, which is what I wanted, it's very hard to capture on camera. Oh, yes, maybe it's this way. there is a bit of a top and bottom situation. The sides are a little bit different, so let's just try the other way. Ah, that's so much better. That's fitting in. And when all else fails, you just hit it until it fits together. Okay. That was simple enough. Before we put the top panel on, obviously we're going to make our door, which is the most satisfying. You will feel like a queen when you do this. Basically, you have these magnetic corners which match up with magnetic corners on the door, and then you slot these little bits into the sides, right, until they swing, and then you know you've done it right. And this also has to fit into the slats on the side. I'll just flip you around so I can show you a close-up. So on each of the edges of the box, there's a little gap or a slot where you basically have to slot, very gracefully of course, the sides into, and that is basically how the box comes together. Okay, that is now operational, and then you basically just finish off with popping this on top and just making sure that all corners, once again, within the slats, and giving this a good hammer will make sure that that is accomplished. And now folks, we have not one but two shoe boxes. Now as you can see, the height, it's getting there, so definitely room for at least 2 pairs of shoes, and if you're even tighter on space, you could even go 4 pairs of shoes, to be quite fair. But because we don't have all the time today, I'm going to get through as many boxes as possible on time lapse, and then what we will do is tackle sorting out what shoes go where and arranging the room so it looks pleasant on the eye. Practical yet stylish, functional and pretty. I should just be a walking thesaurus. Okay, we have made 6 boxes and I'm extremely satisfied with myself. There was one little casualty. I was hammering a little bit too aggressively in one of the boxes to make it fit in when maybe it wasn't quite ready, and I did chip one of the corners, but it hasn't compromised the structure of the box. As you can see, it is still functional and operating. So just a little word of caution there for those of you who might be thinking of assembling some clear shoe boxes yourselves. And that is all I have time for today. I might actually do the rest of them off camera in between children and life and so forth. Get these all done, and then in the next segment we can actually start building our room. As I'm clearing up before we go, I can finally start throwing out some shoe boxes, and I'm so happy to see the back of this particular one. Adidas, you have such pretty shoes but such ugly flimsy shoe boxes. What's the deal? Hello folks, I think the last time I left you I was eating cake, which I potentially might do yet again. It's become a real habit these days, although one that I can get away with because I'm pulling the pregnancy card. Anyway, like I said, I was intending to build yet more boxes that are clearly still packaged during the week till I could catch up with you again. However, today's been a bit of a slow day, not much sleep, and it just seems like this house is just not a temple of sleep, but more a temple of unpredictable energy. And I do believe people go to temples for seeking tranquility, and that is what we are trying to achieve here today. So hopefully we can get the majority of this space done. Just trying to create a little bit of superficial zen when the real thing is unavailable. I will continue to build the rest of these shoe boxes on a time lapse, get them all in situ, and then for the exciting bit, which is actually inserting the product into the boxes, and it'll be kind of a little shoe haul, taking you through my shoe collection, which will hopefully be the more fun portion of this vlog. However, running up and down stairs to get the shoes will not be the most fun, but I'll get in my steps for the day. There's a positive to everything. first casualty. We lost a corner. Doesn't affect the functionality of the box though. However, as you can see, I've made some progress off camera because I was thinking the content creation was not getting very creative, if at all, this vlog, to be quite honest. We have 3 more boxes to go. However, because of that minor setback, we must lift the mood and have a bit of a snack. All right, my workstation is prepared. Pardon me. As I said, my workstation is prepared. I have some whipped cream. Sorry, we're not doing anything naughty with this, although we kind of are. I have here my vegan tiramisu, which I made last week. And don't worry, I will be doing this recipe on camera because this is one of the best healthy desserts I've ever made. But then again, I love all the healthy desserts that I make. I just have that tooth. This is super earthy, nutty, and it's actually pregnancy friendly because it turns out vegan desserts, because they don't contain any soft cheeses and so forth, are super accessible for pregnant ladies. So a good excuse to get in some whole grains. It has a protein frosting, totally all made from scratch, and it's absolutely delicious. The Savarati biscuits are made from oats and dates and almond flour. The frosting is made from protein powder. It's all dunked in coffee. It's just got all my favorite things, but one cannot have something nice without something slightly naughty. Like I say, guys, life is all about balance. All right, I think that's enough. I'm pairing it with a hot water because I've had my 2 coffees for the day. So just on my caffeine allowance. I'm just gonna sit here for a moment. This seriously feels like a plate of deplorable gluttony, but it's refined sugar free, and I'm gonna eat it because I don't care about anything today, and I'll just have to atone for it at a later date. But right now, it's exactly what I need. This is like baked oats, but 100 times better. All right, I made short work of that. Where was I? The 3 shoe boxes remaining, a little bit of a tidy, and then we can start shoeing. Now this hadn't occurred to me before, but I thought of actually putting them in like an L shape. However, then I wouldn't be able to open the drawers if they were. Or would I? What if I moved these all the way to the corner and then shifted these? Would I have enough room to slot these in? Let's see. Oh no. No. That works. Actually, I changed my mind. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm a woman. I realized in my configuration that there would be a huge gap here for dust bunnies, which would be another bane of my life. So I'm going to fill the dust bunny space and do the opposite. We might impede a little bit on the baby gate, but that's fine. It doesn't really impede on the walkway at all. So we're going to do 2 lots here and just leave the 1 row. Okay, scratch that idea. It just wasn't configuring right. So I've opted for the very unlikely tower of shoe. I just think that it's just more neat in the corner. I'm now not impeding on the stairway or the doorway. I'm saving space. It looks way more organized. So we are settling on the tower of shoe instead. And now for the fun part where I will show you the actual real life tower of shoe. Not proud of it, but it has been living rent-free in this corner in the hallway over here. So this is a very old wire rack that I used to store bits and pieces in. I decided to use it for shoe storage, but obviously it's not quite working. I can't see what's in there. I don't even know what's in there, and it just really needs to go into its new home. And now that it does have one, we can actually make some sense of it. Now these aren't just my shoes, some of my husband's shoes are in there, the kids' shoes are over there. So slowly but surely I'm going to begin the decluttering process. I just find decluttering a great way to get rid of the shame of such a state of affairs. But let's pop you on a little bit of a time-lapse situation and see how much progress we can make on the declutter before I pick up my little one. Okay, I'm just taking the last few boxes up. I can definitely say that I earned my dessert for lunch situation. However, I have realized the extent of the shoe collection, and I'm getting a little bit worried perhaps that it may not have enough space. But like I said, we are planning to double up. But before we get to all that, I do have to pick up my little one now. I'm happy for him to be involved in the decanting of the shoe exercise we're about to undertake. But first, let me flip you around and show you what the space downstairs looks like after the declutter. Look at that. Not my finest hour. However, we definitely do have a lot more room, and I believe this is going to be just turfed to the tip. I'm not sure if we'll use it perhaps in the garage for storing something, perhaps not, but we'll have a lot more free space now, so can't be mad about that. A little bit fancy for a kinder pickup, but as you all know, I never show up underdressed for an event such as leaving the house. And why not throw on a pair of shades? I mean, it's windy out. Oh, that is quite the view of the belly. Belly is beautiful. Okay, let's get back to a perspective I'm more comfortable with. Let's get to the decanting of the shoes. Rough plan is, I'm thinking the shoes that I want the most accessible should really go at eye level or in the middle, and then things like heels or dressier shoes should probably go further at the top where they're not as visible. This is probably going to be more of a practical shoe drobe, probably not as pretty, but hopefully we can get most of these in here. I did encounter one problem though, and that is boots. I feel like boots would need the entire shoebox to themselves because they're a bit chunkier, they're a bit larger. So I wasn't quite sure whether to do a spring-summer wardrobe and then a winter-autumn shoe drobe. We shall see as we start decanting the shoes. But oh my gosh, will I be so relieved once these shoe boxes are gone. I just realized how much space they were taking up and how much we can potentially save, so this is exciting me. So I think plan of attack is we'll start actually unboxing the shoes and rediscovering. See, for example, these super old snake-like sandals. Great brand, Steve Madden, barely worn, but just not quite my style anymore. So I'm gonna keep this box and the shoes and they can just get sold on. Classic cream white shoe. So happens that the shoe box is broken. It's by Alias Mae, which is a shoe brand that I love. They actually do really nice magnetic shoe boxes, but this one is broken, so no need to hold on to this. Okay, I'm condensing my thoughts now. Perhaps the classic shoes such as these, like the everyday staples, the never fail trans-seasonal shoes, they will definitely be housed here because they will be accessed a bit more often than perhaps the niche, brightly coloured fancy shoes. Not that I have many, but that's my thinking anyway, in case we do run out of space. Or we simply get more shoe boxes. You know me, if there's any kind of problem, sometimes the only answer is to throw more money at it. This just made me realise saying goodbye to packaging is actually going to be super difficult for me because I love a good box and I love a good bit of tissue paper. I just love when you get that feeling of opening your shoe box and the tissue paper is still there and it just feels like a brand new shoe moment. Even though I have worn these 1,000,002 times, I just feel like I've seen them for the first time, which technically I have because once again I haven't been able to access my shoes since last year. But moving on for times, now that these pair of shoes can actually get the wear that they deserve. I used to wear these all the time. So glad to have them back. I think I'll actually keep some of the Alias Mae magnetic boxes empty, which I know is a little bit of a waste of space, but I think they will come in handy, say if I have to switch shoes around for the seasons. So I'm going to get rid of all the flimsy cardboardy boxes and just keep the really good ones just in case. Ooh, even found some handy socks, which I will throw in the wash, don't you worry. Although I am tempted to perhaps just throw them in with my clean socks because I do rewear my socks quite a few times before I wash them. Don't judge me. My feet just don't smell. I mean, there's definitely other bits of me that smell, like you don't want to catch the pits on a hot day, but feet, thank goodness, is not one of my body parts that do smell. Oh, now this is a funny one. I haven't worn these for ages. I've worn them a lot, but I don't know if they're quite me anymore, so I might keep them to the side to try later while I decide whether they're worthy of a space in the shoe tower. Hello, good fellows. I've spent a lot of time off camera with the good old spectacles on, which I will now remove because I don't need to assess my footwear in the mirror anymore. I've done a lot of trying on in various heel heights. Actually, I better put these away in the right spot or I'll forget I even had them in the first place. I am currently surrounded literally by shoe. I will take you off your stand so you can get a good gauge on the gravity of the situation. So this is the current situation in hand. I didn't realize that I had so many dressy shoes, but that's okay. It's not a bad problem to have. Do mind the toes. Oh, and the nails matching. Don't mind if I do. Thrown in some trainers. We've got some old classics. I mean, do you all remember these? Like, I will never ever part with these fluffy Legally Blonde heels. Got some black heels over there. Got some trainers. This is a whole bunch of sandals and loafers. So we have a really good basis to start a really solid shoe wardrobe at this point. I'd say it's fairly accurate that we have no shortage of materials for this project. I do have to show you something rather satisfying though. Just allow me to step through the pile of shoe. Look at all the shoe boxes. Look at all the space that I am now saving. And to think that years that they have been housed basically untouched in these boxes. So happy to see the back of them. I think I will save a few more. I have again put the Alias Mae ones to the side, but I think I will need a few more just to switch out when I need to. So I'll just save a few sturdy ones. But needless to say, I feel like the recycling centre is going to be very impressed with the shipment we're going to be gracing them with rather shortly. As for the current state of the shroom, we only have 2 shoes sitting in there at the moment. Considering the amount of space we're going to actually need, I'm going to remove these slippers because I don't think they quite deserve a spot on the tower. I'm now referring to the shoe tower as basically New York real estate, where rent is high and you only get a spot in there if you can pay for it or if you're worthy. So let's begin the decanting of what we have here and see how far we get. It's that time again. I've got to pick up the rest of my children. We have made a considerable amount of progress up here. I've actually taken a little bit longer because there's still a few more boxes that I had to sift through and assess, but let me just show you before I go the gem. What was I thinking with this shoe purchase? I think I was in my Kim K influencer era where she was all into snakeskin, so I got all into snakeskin. And I purchased these. I think I've only worn them twice, so I'm definitely going to be selling them on to anyone who's still in love with the snakeskin look. If you are, no judgment here. It's just not quite a part of my personal style journey anymore. And also, ironically, have managed to make a nice little cull of shoes that I want to either sell on or give to charity. And the majority of them, unfortunately, are Steve Madden, which explains why I haven't walked into that shop for years. So nice to see where I've come from and now where I'm heading to. I've had to sometimes triple the space available in the shoe boxes because they actually are quite large, and some of the shoes are quite similar. For example, all my white heels I've clustered together and so forth. Some of my colourful heels have also been piled together in a trio. But for the ones that need some extra love and care, such as my beloved fluffy Legally Blondes and my very special woven heels by Schultz that I will never part with, I thought they deserved their own little space in the middle, and I've kept the middle a little bit more tidy just to detract from the chaos surrounding it. Now I'm hoping we can finish this today. I will have lots of children running around though, so we shall see. Otherwise I will be getting rid of the recycling at least. So I will see you shortly, like in the next clip, or I may see you next week. No, I can't leave the place like this. I will see you shortly. This will get done today. I'm back. I've hit the I haven't slept in 3 days wall. I'm feeling a little bit sick, but I cannot leave. I cannot leave the place in such a state, and I need to get rid of the recycling. So let's get this done nice and quick, guys. How come these decluttering vlogs are always ending in a little bit of a low point? I think because it takes the span of the day and there's so many interruptions that by the end of it I just want it to be over, and that's kind of where I'm sitting in my mood right now, but that's okay. It will be done. I'm going to put black heels here, and then I think I'll do casual shoes in the remaining middle down boxes, which is the majority of my footwear anyway, so the most used. But so far, happy. It is at least 50% done. So let's just tackle the other 50, shall we? Moment. The last shoe, the last trainer. Not that I have many trainers. It's going in. It's almost going in. It is in the last shoebox. And there we have the shawarma, the shoe corner, complete. And it's so funny as I look at these shoes, because I've never really seen them all out at once ever. Shoes for me are a bit like fragrance. I don't think fragrance is as nostalgic to me as a shoe. For example, these special shoes with the diamante heel, and it just takes me back to our wedding anniversary, where notoriously gets sabotaged by some kind of disaster, and this was no exception. It was the night that we found out that my husband had COVID. He started shaking, he couldn't eat his dinner, and then all I did was get up from my seat to go look at the view at this lovely restaurant that we booked that we couldn't eat the food at because he was shaking and using hot towels on his back. And then I just took one step and this whole thing snapped off, and I had 10 waiters trying to get my shoe back together, and I'll never forget it. It's a good night. Anyway, I digress. I'll flip around, quickly show you the shawarma, and then really all that is left is to do the recycling, which might actually be therapeutic after this exercise. So here she stands in all her glory. Again, I've kept at least one shelf nice and cohesive. The rest have been a little bit cluttered towards the end, but at least everything is finally in, and I can sleep a little bit easier knowing that I don't have to tackle such a horrendous project in just a little bit. Hopefully our next vlog will be a little bit more, slightly more relaxed and less hectic and slightly less work. Not that I have a fear of hard work. Clearly hard work always pays off. It's just sometimes when you haven't had any sleep, it's just not the ideal conditions, is it, for being your most productive self. I'm currently in my children's bedroom surrounded by my recycling pile, and I'm going to spend the next, how many minutes is this going to take me? At least a good 20 minutes, I think, just doing this. Just flattening a bunch of boxes and putting them to rest, basically. One thing that I'm not quite satisfied with the corner or tower of shoes that we have created is the fact that there's no lighting, and as you could see I was struggling with the lighting throughout filming the shoe boxes, and therefore they're not looking as good as I expected them to. I know you can purchase these puck lights I used in my bookcase. I will link that below if you want to see how I styled that. Much more successful than today, I have to say. It's actually LED strips that you can attach, and they're automatic lighting as well, so if you walk by or open the door, for instance, they'll just turn on. So that could be an additional thing I might add to the shoe
corner, but for now it is functional. I can see my shoes and we have achieved our objective. Basically what I'm saying is for today, it'll do. Some of you might also be thinking, Opal, you have a serious shoe problem. I will put up my hand and say, yes, I do. But it is a problem that I love to have. Better than the other problems that I've had in my life. So this is the least of my problems. And also glad that I could do a cull during this process as well. So there's quite a few pairs that I'm going to be selling or giving away, which will be very cleansing. And also remember, these shoes have been collected over quite a number of years. These haven't just magically appeared. I have been collecting shoes. Since when did I start loving shoes? I don't think I can remember a time that I didn't. Almost like I can't remember my life before children. But shoes, as ourselves as humans, are always changing and evolving, and so will that shoe corner. I know that there's already some shoes there that potentially may not be there for much longer. Potentially they could be sold on as well, or given a better home, or potentially switched out for some better and new alternatives. But like this vlog, our journey evolves. Thank you so much for joining me on this chaotic discovery vlog. I mean, we conquered the shoebox. We engineered and fashioned a shoebox, which is such an achievement for me. Small leap for mankind, huge leap for people. We managed to organize our shoes and fit them into the amount of boxes that I have available. Part of me feels like potentially I might need to order some more, but I do think ultimately I like to see my shoes seasonally, and I know we haven't hit spring summer yet, but I know that potentially that's when I'll be making the most use out of my wardrobe. Turns out that I have a really big spring summer shoe wardrobe, lots of sandals that I can squish together. Not a huge collection of winter ones, but that's because you sort of wear the same shoe, the same black boot on repeat in winter. Well, that's what I do anyway, or the same trainers. Looking forward to spring summer when I can actually fully utilize the shawarma, as we have come to know as the shoe corner, not any kind of Mediterranean dish. I think shawarma is some kind of Mediterranean dish. Very tasty, I believe. Anyway, I'm rambling on, and I know that putting away this recycling is going to make me feel slowly more and more satisfied with my day, and I can forget about how tired I am and all the copious amount of carbs I consumed at lunch. I will catch you in my next vlog, lovely people. Do hit subscribe if this kind of content appeals to you. A like goes a long way, and I appreciate your time here if you've made it to the end. And a special thank you to all my loyal audience. Nice to have you back here following along on this huge nesting, let's call it a nesting journey that I'm on. Plans for the next vlog, I feel like could potentially be a baby related vlog. We shall see. Let's see what the creative juices come up with, but there's still lots more organizing to do in that department, and our lives in general. As you can see, they're never done. It's always quite undone around here, and so I feel I am becoming slowly unraveled towards the end. Thank you so much. Any products that I featured or highlighted, any particular shoes, the shoe boxes definitely will be linked down below. Check out the description box. That's all I have to say for now. Goodbye, folks. Thanks for sticking around.